Here's the first fly that I'll be teaching you how to tie. It is the Stimulator. It is probably the most versatile fly out there. It can represent just about any bug that floats on the surface, whether it's a grasshopper or a mayfly or just a regular fly. It's an all-around good hook. Just about any trout will go for it. You can go for mooneye or goldeye with it. Just about any fish that feeds off the surface will go for this fly, from my experience. So here are the following instructions to get this fly into your vest and onto the water. So here's what you'll need for making this fly. Today I'll be using a size 12 dry fly. It's a little bigger than I like, but this will make it easier for you to see how I make the fly because it'll be bigger and better for the camera. You'll need some orange thread in a guide. You'll need yellow dubbing, grizzly hackle, which is feathers, some brown or red rooster hackle, which is also just feathers, and you'll either need deer fur or elk fur. Either works just fine. I'm personally a fan of deer fur because I'm a hunter, so I always get it for free. But elk fur is also good. They're both just about the same coloring and texture, and they both float really well. So get either of those before you tie this fly, and you'll need the red or brown hackle, the grizzly hackle, the yellow dubbing, orange thread, and as you're beginning, you try using a size 12 dry fly, but as it gets better, I prefer size 14 to 16 most of the time because they're smaller, so more fish can get it in their mouth. Okay, for starts, you take your hook and you put it into the clamp and you tighten up the clamp till it's very, very tight. That way it will not budge when you're working. So first, you take your thread, you hold it on your hook like that, and you start wrapping the thread around there. And you just wrap it on itself, and that's better than doing a knot. You just keep wrapping it. Until you're right near where the hook starts to curve. And you stop there. And then normally I put a bit of wax there, just to make it a little bit less likely to soak up water into that thread. Just makes it more repellent. And then what I do is I take probably about a dozen threads of deer hair. I make it so that there's a nice tail there, and I just wrap the thread around there really tight so that they will not move as you're working and fishing with it. And once you have those on there good, you take your trusty scissors, you snip them as short as you can get them. Then that's your tail of your fly. Then what you do is you take some of that reddish brown hackle that I was telling you about earlier. And what you do is you strip away all of the fuzzy parts of the feathers, because those will take on water and make it so that it does not float very well. And then once you have it like that, So see how I just got like the brittle feathers? You put it back there, and you wrap it a few good times to make sure that it's on there well. Then again, you just clip it off. Then you will take the thread out a little ways. You'll take your wax, and you'll just wax it back and forth until the whole thread there has wax on it. That is very important when you're putting the dubbing on it for the body. That makes the dubbing stick to the thread. And then you take a good bit of dubbing there. Then what you'll do, you'll just kind of twist it onto the thread. Just like so. And what you want that dubbing to do is only cover about the back quarter to a third of the hook, or even up to half. Depends how careful you are with the other parts of your hook. Then you just wrap it around for a while there, just like so. And what you do is you take this hackle that you had before, then wrap it around about 3 or 4 times, depending on the size of the hook. Oops. And you'll accidentally let go of it probably a lot of times and then have to start all over like I just did there. Then when you have it done, you take the thread, then you wrap the thread under like so. Then you wrap it around a couple times. That makes sure that that will not budge. Then right here, what I normally do is I take a little bit of this head cement, put a little dab right there on the thread so that it doesn't move. And then you will just trim that down so that you got nothing left of like the leftovers of the fur. So you got a few little strands there. Kind of did a bad job there, but you get the idea. And then you take a good bunch of deer or elk fur, then you put it on so that the back of it is about level with the back of the tail there. And you hold that, and you wrap this around really tight so it doesn't move. Lots of times you don't want that to move. So just keep going and going and going there. Then once you have it on very well, you just want to trim all that excess fur there. Looks pretty good. take your grizzly hackle, and again I took away all the fuzziness so that it just is nice hard stuff, and then wrap it around like so, and snip her off. Then you want to take your thread up a ways and then get it out of your way, down like so. Then you start wrapping this grizzly hackle around and around. Until you're to the end of it, basically. Then you want to take your thread, and wrap off that hackle. And here's one of those tricks I thought that I told you I'd teach you. So you want to take that and pull back all the hackle so it goes like this, and start wrapping ahead like so. Then wrap even further back so you're wrapping on top of the hackle a little ways, and that'll make sure that no hackle is near the eye of the hook. That way, when you're trying to get your fishing line through it, you won't have any like parts of the feather blocking the eye of the hook. Just keep wrapping it around until you got a good ball there, just like so. And then you want to trim off the ends of the feathers. Very careful not to like destroy the other bits of the hackle, because that would be a waste. Then you just kind of position everything like so. And then here is how to finish off the fly. You let some of the thread out, you put your finger on it, then you wrap it around your finger. Well, you just put it in twists until it curls around your finger, and you put it around the head, and you just pull it tight. You're basically doing a half hitch. And then again, I'll just back up. Oops, my camera's out of focus. But anyway, so you take that, put it around your finger, and you spin your finger around. Put one more half hitch right there, and then you pull it tight so that there's no slack. Then you just cut off the thread. And then the most important thing of the whole fly process is you put some cement, head cement, right all the way around the head. So you want it on the top and on the bottom, just all the way around. It's better to use too much than not enough, because you can always poke the eye of the hook open with a needle. And there you have it. You got yourself a nice stimulator fly. It's a dry fly, so it'll float on top of the water. And as I said before, just about any fish will go for that fly. And hope you have good luck. It'll take you probably a few tries before it actually works for you. But after you've tried a few times, they'll just work beautifully for you. And hey, it's always fun to catch a fish on a fly that you tied yourself. And thanks for watching this video, and good luck with your fishing expeditions.